back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 5 NRL tips for 2023. And yes, it'll be a fantastic round. I'm looking forward to all the games this weekend. I'm going to be attending a few as well, which is going to be fantastic. So yeah, with the people I'm going with, yeah, it's the well-known Nick from Australia, CJ Moxley, Hainsey, all that section, the Paddy G. You know, there's plenty of content creators I will see across the weekend for the round 5 fixtures. So it'll be good. It'll be a great time, and I'm looking forward to all the games I'm going to ahead. So I'll reveal them in a second, all my games I'm going to. But before I start, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. Really am interested to hear what you're going with for this weekend. And yeah, look, the support to the YouTube channel has been insanely crazy, but in a good way, and I do appreciate all the support. So thank you again for those new subscribers and the new support. But without further ado, I will go into my round 5 NRL tips now. So it should be a good weekend ahead. So kicking off the first game of round 5, it is the Roosters taking on the Eels at Allianz Stadium, 8 PM Thursday night. Yeah, cracker. This is one of the games I'm going to actually, so I'm looking forward to being there and making a vlog as expected. So yeah, it should be a good game, this one, because I think both sides, like, I know Eels have had a slow start to the year, but I think they have not been bad in every loss that they've had so far. And you know, they're quite similar to the Roosters. Like, Roosters have obviously won a bit more games than them, but it's, like, form-wise, I don't think Roosters and the Eels are far off, so it makes it a pretty tight game if you ask me. But getting through both sides, so for the home side first, the Roosters, Johnny Manu is serving a 1-game ban for a high shot against the Rabbitohs. Drew Hutchison moves into the centres, and Corey Allen has been added to the interchange along with Nafatu White, with Terrell May dropping out. And for the Eels, Junior Paulo will miss 2 games after taking an early guilty plea after a grade 2 careless tackle. So Wyram Gregg moves into the starting side, and Jack Murchie joins the bench, having recovered from a head knock got in round 3. Yeah, very tough game. It can go either way, but I am going to tip the Roosters at home. I think the Roosters at home are usually pretty good at Allianz, and it's the Eels' first time playing at the new Allianz too, so how they handle that, I'm not too sure. Shouldn't affect them, but yeah, I think the Roosters, for me, will get the win here. I think they should be a bit too good, so I'll go Roosters 1-12, and my first try scorer is going to be Jackson Paulo. On to the next game now, and this is the main game of the Friday. It is the Raiders taking on the Panthers at GIO Stadium in Canberra. So back where it all started, I guess, for the whole James Salmon week dog comments, where both sides last time played at the same venue when it all happened. But you know, it's time to move on, I guess. But this shapes up to be a good game, because I think Raiders, you know, at home aren't too bad. They won their week before against the Sharks in round 3, so but it's a tougher task now against the Panthers. And as for the Panthers, actually, they were unlucky to lose that one against the Eels by 1 point. No doubt that they'll be itching to get back out there and prove a point to get another win, as they want to bounce back. So I'll go through both sides. So the first team I'll go for is the home side. And for the Raiders, Jordan Rapana makes a welcome return from suspension, with James Schiller the man to make way for the veteran. Jamal Fogarty returns after missing the Knights game due to an illness, so Matt Frawley switches to 5'8" to cover for the suspended Jack Wyden, who's going to miss 2 weeks as well. And then club legend Jared Croker is part of the extended squad, so will he play? I don't know, but that's the only changes there for the Raiders. And for the Panthers, Luke Garner is being rested as he battles some niggles. So Scott Sorensen comes into the starting side, and Lindsay Smith joins the bench, and Tyrone Peachy comes on the bench as well. So yeah, the Peach is back for the Panthers. Who am I going to tip? Yeah, look, I think the Panthers will bounce back this week, and I think they'll win in a big way as well. Like, I'm tipping Panthers 13+ here. I think that there's potential for the Raiders to turn up at home and give the Panthers a real shake. I think there's potential, as these games are always pretty physical, and they are pretty intense games, and I like watching these two sides play. In my opinion, if there was any rivalry you could consider, and I don't think it's a rivalry by any means, but if there's one that you want to try and think of putting together, I think Raiders and Panthers would be the next one, in my opinion. So I think it'll be a good game, and I'll tip Panthers here, 13 plus. They should win fairly well, I reckon. And first try scorer is going to be Sunia Taruva. Right, on to the main game on the Friday now. It is the Rabbitohs taking on the Storm at 8 PM at Accor Stadium. So, yeah, the second game I'm going to during the weekend. So, yeah, this will be a great one to be at, back at Accor again. And, yeah, it's a big one because I think this is where it just sort of proves where the Storm are at, I reckon. Because at the moment, the Storm are playing not the best footy. They are obviously a bit shaky at the moment. Yes, there's injuries and players out, but I think their quality is finally getting a bit more tested. So we'll see how they go against the informed Souths team who did defeat Manly in a very lucky win. So we'll see how they go in this one as well. So I'll go through both sides quickly. So for the Rabbitohs, Hame Sally returns from her concussion protocols after that mandatory 11-day stand-in, as that's the new rule going around for the concussions. And Ben Lovett goes to reserves, the debutant from last week, and Alex Johnson suffered a slight cork to his thigh, but is good to go. And for the Storm, just one change. Tom Eisenhuth joins the bench after being 18th man last week. He takes the place of Tyrant Wishart in the team, so that's the only changes there for both sides. My tip for this game, look, I'm expecting South to be too good at home. Yeah, look, at a call, they play pretty well there, and I think Storm will definitely be competitive early, I reckon. Like, I think they'll start pretty well and get off to a good start, but over time, I think South's quality through Cody and Latrell and Cookie, dummy half, yeah, it's going to carry them to a win. So I think Souths will win 13 plus as well. And I'm gonna go Souths by 14, and I think that'd be too good. And my first try scorer is gonna be Jacob Host in the back row. On to the first game of Super Saturday. It is my boys Manly taking on the Knights at Glenwillow Oval in Mudgee. And look, if anything, and if history tells us anything, Manly love playing Mudgee, especially Tom Trbojevic. Like, obviously, Mudgee is a happy hunting ground for Manly, and obviously we've taken games in the past once a year. That's all started back in 2021 where we played the Titans, and then last year we played the Raiders and we won both of them. So can that winning streak continue at Mudgee against the Knights? We'll have to wait and see, but I think it'll be a good game. I think both sides will play really well and try to test each other out. And, you know, Knights been actually, that win against the Raiders last week was a win they needed, so it's a bit of a confidence boost to that one, the Knights being the Raiders. But getting through both sides, so first through Manly, Morgan Harper will play his first game of the season in place of the injured Tolu Kola, with obviously an MCL injury, so hopefully Harper goes well and I'll back him in to have a good game. Lachlan Croker returns from the shoulder injury, which kept him out of the round 4 games, so Carl Lawton goes back to reserves. And for the Knights, Kurt Mann suffered a head knock against the Raiders and will miss the game under the mandatory concussion stand-down rules. So he'll miss this week and next week, I assume. And powerhouse winger Greg Marvsey holds his spot in the wing, so as expected anyway. So they're the changes there for both Manly and the Knights. Who am I going to tip? No doubt I'll be tipping Manly. You know, I do think that we can't underestimate Newcastle. Like, I don't want the boys to be thinking that Knights are easy beats. And I'm sure they won't be, because I think they'll be ready for a contest out there. And I think they'll be itching to play well and bounce back from the loss last week. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game. But I'll be seeing this game live on the train, because I'll be off to the game at Wollongong between the Dragons and the Dolphins. So yeah, that'll be fun watching the boys playing on the train. But yeah, look, I'll back Manly here, but I'm only going to go Manly here 1-12. I think it'll be a lot tighter than we expect, and I'm going to go Tom Trbojevic first try scorer at Mudgee. Now on to the next game, which I'm going to, like I said before, and that's the Dragons and the Dolphins at Wynn Stadium, Wollongong. So yeah, this is the third game I'm going to on the weekend, and yeah, look, this is another intriguing game because the Dragons have been in awful form, but they return to Wollongong where they often play not too bad of footy there. So we'll see if they have a response there for the home fans up in Wollongong. And for the Dolphins, this is their first actual game in Sydney, so we'll see how they pan out travelling to Wollongong. So but it should be a good game. I'll be there, so hopefully it'll be good and yeah, it'd be good to actually experience what Wollongong's like, because I've never been there before, so it should be good. go through both sides. So for the Dragons, Jack de Belin has not quite recovered from his calf injury yet, so he'll miss another week. So that means Anthony Griffin is stuck solid with the same 17 after they lost to the Sharks, and Jack Bird's been named to start at lock and Zane Musgrove on the bench. But they did swap around on the game day against the Sharks, so it could happen again. And for the Dolphins, Anthony Milford moves from 5'8" to halfback to cover for the injured Sean O'Sullivan with a pec injury, and Isaiah Katoa returns from an elbow injury in the 6 jumper. And Tessinu is replaced by Jack Bostock, who will make his NRL debut against his former club. So Jack Bostock is a young winger who played in the juniors for the Dragons, so be interesting to see how he does go against his former club there. And Jeremy Marshall-King returns from suspension, so he'll start hooker, and Mason Teague goes to the bench. And Herman SCSA is back from a pec injury as well. Look, who am I going to tip in this game? I'm going to tip the Dolphins because I think Dolphins, based on form, have been a lot better, but I think there's a chance that Dragons could fight and give the Dolphins a real run for their money. So I'll go Dolphins here, but 1 to 12 only. So I'll tip Dolphins 1 to 12. And first try scorer might be through the Dragons first, actually. I'm going to go with Matt Feagai, but so yeah, I think it'll be high scoring though, in saying that. Now on to the last game of Super Saturday. It is the Broncos taking on the Tigers at Suncorp Stadium. And yeah, look, based on recent form, you'd think that this would be so easy to tip, but here's a stat for people that don't know. And there's a stat going around, and it's a well-known stat, and I've known it for a while now, that the Tigers have not lost to the Broncos at any game at Suncorp, Leichhardt, Campbelltown, wherever they've played at against each other. Yeah, Tigers have not lost to the Broncos since 2018, round 3, I think it was, at Campbelltown. So that's a crazy stat there, and you know, that's 5 years since the Broncos last beat the Tigers in 5 years ago. That's crazy. So does that continue? We'll see, but it's a very different circumstance now. Look, I'll go through both sides. So going with the Broncos first, Kevin Walters, and named the same 17 that snuck past the Dolphins in the Classic at Suncorp Stadium in round 4. Kobe Hetherington came back from pre-season bicep injury via the Hot Plus Cup last weekend, so he's in reserves, and yeah, good to see him back. And for the West Tigers, Tim Sheen's stuck solid the same starting 13 from round 4, and Adam Doueihi keeps his spot at fullback with Brandon Wakeham at 6 and Luke Brooks at halfback. So look, who am I backing this game? I'll back the Broncos. I know there's a hoodoo, but I think hoodoos are meant to break eventually. So I think the Broncos will get the win here. And look, the way the Broncos are playing, it's like how they played back in 2006 or year 2000. Like, it's really resembling that type of Broncos style that was like that. So yeah, it's their best start in a while, and I think they'll continue that start. So yeah, continue that good start to make it 5-0. So I'll go the Broncos here, 13 plus. I think they'll be way too good for the Tigers. And my first try scorer is going to be for Ezra Mann, believe it or not. On to the main game on the Sunday now. It is the Sharks taking on the Warriors at PointsBet Stadium in Cronulla. And so this shapes up to be a very interesting game. If you were to tell me that this game could be potentially a really top game, it could be game of the round potentially as well, then I would have said to you, you know what, I think you're just overthinking that on that part, and there's no chance of that happening. But just the way the Warriors have adjusted themselves into season 2023 so far, it's crazy, and I really do think that they are doing a great job so far, the way they have played so far. So yeah, it's going to be good to see them have a real test now against the Sharks side in Cronulla. That, you know, with Nico Hines back, they're a dangerous side, and that's what Sharks can do on their day. So it should be a good contest at Cronulla. So going through both sides, Braden Trindle returns from an ankle injury and joins the interchange. And Oregon Kafusi, failed HIA, was ruled out inside the opening 15 minutes on Sunday and will miss the match. So Craig Fitzgibbon sticks with the same starting 13 that racked up 40 points against the Dragons. And for the Warriors, skipper Tohu Harris has been named despite suffering a knee injury, so he might be ruled out late. And T. Murray Martin Headnock is out. His place is taken by Ronald Volkman, and the return of hooker Wade Egan. He starts a hooker, and Freddie Larson goes to reserves. It's a big loss to Murray Martin. That's a very big loss. That changes the dynamic of the team, I'd say, because he's been one of the most informed players. So, who am I leaning with for this one? Look, I want to tip an upset. I really do, but I think the Sharks are going to be a bit too good in Cronulla. But I'm not really at the Warriors at all. I think the Warriors are going to give the Sharks a real go on the weekend. So I'll tip Sharks 1-12, but I'm going to go Sharks here by 4. It'll be a very close game. And first try scorer is going to be the one and only Ronaldo Mulitalo. I think that's the first try scorer of the game. So yeah, backing him in for first try, and I'm going back to Sharks here by 4. And on to the last game, round 5. It is the Bulldogs taking on the Cowboys at Accor Stadium, and this is the last game I'll be going to for the weekend. So should be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it because, you know, being there live would be awesome to see how, I guess, both the Dogs and the Cowboys play, because they are playing very similar at the moment. Both of them aren't in like terrific form, but I think they are just similar enough to make it an even and hopefully a good contest. So should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, looking forward to being there on the Sunday at 6:15 p.m. So going for the Bulldogs team first, Josh Reynolds will make his return to first grade, and he plays his first game for the Bulldogs since 2017. So yeah, he will replace Farmo Brown, who unfortunately dislocated his elbow. Pango Jr. is still not back yet from a calf strain, so yeah, he's been monitored by the medical staff. And for the Cowboys, Murray Talangi knee, Jahamat Shibasaki hamstring are both out, so Peter Hiku returns from suspension to fill in that centre role, and Brendan Elliott comes on the wing for Talangi. And the absence of Jeremiah Nanai suspended sees Helen Lukey promoted to the starting side, and Mitch Dunn joins the bench for his first game of the season. And on debut, Riley Price will make his NRL debut off the bench in place of the injured James Talmo. So that's pretty ironic, because Riley Price's father, Steve Price, was a great player for the Bulldogs and won a premiership there in 2004. And yeah, Riley Price will make his debut against the club that his father was well known at. So that's interesting, and that's pretty ironic. So hopefully it goes well. But who am I tipping this game? Look, I wouldn't blame anyone that takes either the Dogs or the Cowboys. It's such a tough game to tip, but I think at home, and I think just because they will be looking to bounce back for their home fans, and because Cowboys have a couple of players out, I will tip the Bulldogs here, because they have, I think they have a bit more of a, a bit more of a bigger chance to win this one, because it's at Accor, you know, home. It's a home game. I know Cowboys have a good record there at Accor against the Dogs, but I think that's mainly due to not playing much games against each other there. So they do play each other this Sunday. And I think Dogs, from what I've seen, are a bit more likely this weekend. But if Cowboys win, I'll cop it, and I think I wouldn't be shocked if they won. But I just think that, you know, the Dogs, for me, will be looking to bounce back from that tight loss against the Warriors. I mean, they'll be fuming after that loss, so I think they'll win this one. I think if Cowboys had Nanai and Talangi and etc., they will be a better chance. But look, I think the Dogs will win here by 6, 1-12, and first try scorer is going to be Jake Averillo in the centres. That's my tips for round 5 of the NRL. I'm going to go with I'm going to go for my tips for the weekend. So Thursday night, Roosters v Eels. Got the Roosters here 1-12. Then the next game is the Raiders taking on the Panthers at GIO Stadium. Got the Panthers here 13+. And Rabbitohs v Storm, the main game on the Friday. Got the Rabbitohs here 13+. Super Saturday, the first game, Manly and the Knights at Mudgee. Got Manly here 1-12. Next game on Saturday, Dragons and the Dolphins at Wynn Stadium. Got the Dolphins here 1-12. And the last game was Super Saturday, Broncos and the Tigers. Got the Broncos here 13+. And then on Sunday, Sharks and the Warriors at PointsBet Stadium. Got the Sharks here 1-12. And lastly, on the last game of the round, and on Sunday, Bulldogs and the Cowboys. Got the Bulldogs here 1-12. So that's my tips around 5 of the NRL. Please let me know your tips in the comment section down below, because I'd like to see who everyone's backing for this weekend. But until then, thank you for watching my round 5 NRL tips. should be a good round, and I'm looking forward to being at most of the games for the weekend, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and yeah, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because I do appreciate all the new support that's been given to me recently, and I do appreciate everyone that comments and subscribes. So it means a lot to myself and the YouTube channel. And yeah, look, it should be a good weekend of footy. So thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.